to travel, giving you enough time to prepare for marriage, which may take place next spring. After your consent, the engagement will be scheduled for 2 months from now. An icy silence dominated the room. No one dared speak, waiting for the girl's answer. Who? For. Beneath his thick coat trembled like a green leaf in the wind. His startled eyes gave him the appearance of a gazelle about to be captured by the hunter. Sumerokov did not dare to look at it. In fact, was standing behind her. Suddenly, Mayra raised her clear eyes to her father and looked at him with silent question. What? Do I, Papacha? Sumerokov closed his eyes as if he had been shot or felt a dagger sticking in his chest. The poor man prayed in silence. He endured everything in silence, certain that even with Mayra's consent, would not allow such violence against nature. Let them judge him. As they wished, nothing would be greater than their motives, willing to silence their secret forever. And without looking at them, he walked away, stepping very hard on the wooden floor. His boots made a shrill noise like hammering. Alex and Kostya listened until it disappeared down the long corridor. Alex Norobod waited patiently for the young woman's answer. Kostya, nervous, felt his heart come out of the mouth. I accept, Mayra replied, thinking, it's me, my God. Alex breathed a sigh of relief. Despite the custom of the time, he didn't want to pressure the young woman so much. Polite and sweet, loved by everyone. She considered that marriage represented the happiness of Mayra. Very good, she exclaimed happily. Congratulations to the future bride and groom. He hugged the future bride with respect and then kissed the groom. Then, relieved, Alex said, patting the girl on the shoulder, Mayra, greet your fiancé. The young woman offered her blushing face to the groom to kiss, and then also placed a light kiss on her cheek. Then she asked, blushing and demure, May I read, Mr. Alex? You can, Mayra. After your fiancé leaves, I'll meet with your father and we'll settle the matter. Time of engagement. Take care, Mr. Vladimir. Take care, Mayra. Her graceful form swept down the aisle. Unlike her father, her delicate feet didn't even seem to touch the ground, even wearing thick galoshes. The two men only spoke again when she disappeared. At the bend in the corridor, for a moment, Comrade Kostya, I thought it was necessary to break up a fight, he said. His friend smiled, remembering the impasse minutes before. It's a shame he's so headstrong. Lasts. Sumerokov is my best employee, hard-working and loyal, but very stubborn. If he hadn't, I used my right as boss and owner of the land. You wouldn't have won such a maiden, my old man. I recognize, comrade, and I thank you for my good fortune. Now I am at peace, because I believe that I will make my dream come true. However, I feel that I cannot wait until next spring. I'll get back to it today and get all my business up to date. He breathed a sigh of relief, throwing himself into the armchair where Mayra had been sitting. She is the most beautiful creature I have ever seen, after your sister. Never. You will regret. Comrade Yago, having helped me, I owe all my happiness to you. His friend's sincere joy left Alex gratified, and, wanted to celebrate, he ordered heady wine from its rich cellar. Moments later, a troika left the farm carrying Kostya, who considered himself the most fortunate of the earth, heading for St. Petersburg. 51 the Sumerokovsky flee. Meanwhile, Yelin Sumerokov entered the house at the same pace he had left his master's house, looking at the ground as if he were at odds with the world, anxious to be alone and share his plan with his wife to prevent that nonsense. I have always counted on your support, my dear, in all the difficult moments of life, and in this, at this moment, I am committed to obtaining your help. Please do not ask me any questions, and accept my request. Let's leave this morning. Katlenka, serene and compassionate, placed her hand over her mouth, letting out a soft moan. She could not understand her husband's attitude and thought he was going too far, all because of a marriage proposal. That's right, Iulián. You don't want your daughter to get married, but that's no reason to give up your job, the comfort and future of your children, so that they can work on their uncle's land and become country folk. Ah, No, this is not to be done. I don't agree. It will be bad for all of us. I know what's good for all of us. If you don't want to go, don't go. But my children and I will go. What manners are these, Iulián? You never did this to me. My God, you are really against the... Comrade Kosla, what did he do to you after all? Me? Nothing, he replied, surprised. Apparently, he had no reason to stop the marriage, and worst of all, disobeying his boss's orders was a crime. So why do you object? I don't want to see my daughter married. Come on, he said decisively. Let's start doing our thing now. Bags. Let no one know. For now. We'll leave at dawn. Your children need to know. We'll tell you at night when you go to bed. By surprise? Kauenka anticipated the confusion. Her husband had made up his mind, and Katienka had no choice but to pack her bags. I had never seen him so dejected. Sumarokov went out to organize 2 carts and came face to face with Mayra. Without looking at her, turned away from her. Papacha, where you going? I'm looking for some mules. Why did you leave, Daddy, without talking to Mr. Alex? You're welcome. My daughter, did you give me the answer? Yes, Papal, I accepted. Because I didn't know what attitude to take, you left me alone. It didn't matter whether you said yes or no. Your fate was already decided. A peasant has no right to choosing a groom for his daughter. And this, Mayra, Mr. Alex considers us as animals, incapable of express our ideas, and you still think that one day you can change the Russian people. He grumbled, disgusted. I don't believe he and Comrade Vladimir are like that. I accepted the request because I thought, had given your consent just for this. Don't you want to get married? He asked, relieved. Why didn't you tell them? We still have time. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Vladimir is gone yet. I've got the troika ready. Let him hit the road, replied the father. But if you don't want to get married, no one in the world can force you to do that. Mayra was indifferent to the situation. She just felt unmotivated for marriage. She felt so. Young, I would like to study, visit places, read books. I dreamed of learning music, painting, attend plays. Marriage would help her, or more likely, it could hinder her. Desires. The father asked him sternly, You don't like him, that's why you're indecisive, isn't it? Sumarokov feared that the young man might seek her out and, with her insistence, achieve his goal. Intention. Mayra's decision was very important to him. Everything would be easier if she refused. Who knows? Maybe on her uncle's farm, around there, she would meet a young man with whom she would fall in love. Sympathize. The girl didn't answer. She liked her fiancé, but didn't want to hurt her father and shook her beautiful blonde hair negatively. Sumarokov smiled, hugged her, breathing a sigh of relief. I knew you had sense. You're my daughter. Mayra entered the house and found Katienka packing her clothes and belongings. What are you doing, Katienka? Nothing. Just putting away some clothes, he replied with 2 tears in his eyes. Are you crying? Yes, I am. Mayra, your father sometimes disappoints me. All because of your marriage. I've never seen a father being so jealous of his daughter. Mayra, without understanding the reason for the tears, thought that she, too, was jealous of her and fell silent. Katienka kept tidying up and crying. So, what's going on with everyone? Asked Nilkala, entering. Your sister was proposed to, and your father is not happy. He wants us all to leave. This morning. That's why I'm packing my bags. I can't accept it, exploded Katienka, who didn't. I wanted to leave the farm, where everyone was arranged, had food, a house, school, clothes, and work. Nicolau returned from his surprise and looked at his sister very agitatedly. Did you accept the request? Yes. I ignored Dad's refusal. Are you engaged to Mr. Latimer? That's what Mr. Alex and he agreed on, papal. And what does a change have to do with everything? We'll leave secretly. Your father doesn't want anyone to know our whereabouts. He said that. We'll do everything to prevent such a union. Nicolau, who deep down agreed with his father, began to support the idea, the school that stayed and gave, a smile of happiness. In the evening, Sumarokov gathered his children and explained, let's leave this farm and never come back. Uncle Lao is waiting for us. I don't want anyone. Know of our hovering. When you wake up in the morning, we will be far away. Mr. Alex can find us. Dad, the place is not that far. Complain Pavel. There, he will have no power over us. The law of servitude is over, and he himself helped. But as long as we remain here, we will be under his yoke, and he can, if he wishes, determine our acts. Norobod is still the law. All this so you can stop Mayra from getting married, Papacha? Pavel asked quite nervously. Intrigued. Of all of them, he was the most upset. He didn't want to leave school at all, so now that his students were doing so well and there was no one else to replace him, Sumarokov didn't answer. His mind was made up. He didn't care what his children would judge. No argument would make him give up. So, as agreed at dawn, they traveled in carts. 52 Alex doesn't give up. When Alex Norobod learned of his employee's escape, he set out to look for clues, but no one knew their whereabouts. The school was at the mercy of the students. Alex, angered by the irresponsible attitude, promised himself, even though he would not swallow that insult, certain that it was because of his demands as to Mayra's wedding with Kostya. Mrs. Maria Norobod, when she heard the news, fell ill and called for Mayra every day. The enclosure was as they had left it. Their wagons were insufficient to carry all their belongings, leaving some clothes and a lot of kitchen junk, trunks, etc. Sonia and her daughter tried to revive the school, encouraged by Alex, but the students didn't want them. They preferred Sumarokov's children, to whom they were already accustomed. The rebellious students, nothing, learned. That situation had to improve, and Alex Norobod decided to go to the city to hire new teacher and at the same time inform comrade Kostya and warn him of the escape of his fiancée's family before he arrived with rings and gifts. In fact, he wanted to personally search for a clue that would lead him to the fugitives. Alex asked the peasants about Sumarokov. He visited several parts of his estate, but didn't get any information. No one knew any news. Like Alex Norobod, the mujiks also were unaware of their uncle's proposal. Finally, he found a vague clue. A former resident suggested that he and his family might have gone to the home of Katienka's relatives in the village of N. More hopeful, Alex left, determined to get the worker back and not bother him with the marriage, accepting her refusal and allowing her to return to the farm. He wanted her children to. Their employees were literate, and the school returned to normal operation. Upon resumption of trip to the capital, he would deviate from his route and look for them in that village, where, for sure, the Sumarokovs had hidden. Kostya, upon receiving the news of the escape, was mortified and wanted explanations at all costs. Justified the behavior of Iulián Sumarokov. More resigned to the fact, after his anger had passed, Alex tried to calm him down. Calm down, Comrade Kostya. As soon as I find them, I'll let you know I intend to look for them at Katienka's family home, where I believe they are. Where else would they go? Wait, Comrade Lago, I'll go with you. No, it is not advisable for you to go, because if Sumarokov ran away so that his daughter would not marry you, your presence, my friend, will only complicate matters. Let me act. I recognize that we have rushed a bit, pressing him. I want you to have a little more patience. Kostia, impatient, was ready to do anything crazy to see his bride again. Sumarokov, who? Damn it, he wouldn't give up. Finally, Alex convinced him to stay. Okay, comrade, if you allow me, I will go with you, but I will leave you alone in village and I will wait. Then we will continue our journey together. I see you're tough in your decisions, man. I've never met such a determined person. Where did you get such a passionate temper? Joked his friend, realizing that he was inflexible. You will go then, but with the teacher, he explained, referring to Simeon, who would go to Alex's school. Wait for me at farm, because I will enter the village and alone. I fear that your presence may make things worse. If find Sumarokov, I'm determined to bring him back. It's just a matter of time. Alex was very happy. Meeting Professor Simeon, part of his problems were resolved. Sonia could leave the school because she and her daughter only increased the confusion, were unable to enforce discipline. Simeon would put the school back in order. Costa agreed. Alex would enter the village and he and Semyon would stay at an in waiting. Your return, with great difficulty, asking here and there, Alex, accompanied by a servant, managed. Find the house of Katlenka's mother, who, suspicious, did not want to say where Olga's farm was, and Nicolau, although intimidated by the luxury of Alex's troika and the large sum of money he showed her. The inviting coins jingled in his pocket. Despite their difficult lives, the courageous peasants did not give in and did not sell out. Alex, despite the insistence, he returned home, convinced that he had been deceived. He would then send one of his servants in the village to monitor them until he found a clue that would lead him to Sumarokov. He himself didn't even know why he acted like that, giving such importance to poor moujiks who didn't even have a home. He stopped for a moment to think. What do these people have after all? He wanted to forget them. Kosla should find another bride. His daughter Sasha remembers him. Already, she was a grown woman, older than Mayra. It would be a good match. Maybe the guy would be interested in her. And the daughter would make a good choice, a cultured and intelligent man, despite his much origins. Today, Kosla, although he had no title nobility, was a wealthy merchant, possessed considerable property, and they both fought together for the same cause. He had no prejudices. A sincere friendship was very more important than titles and royal blood. Nurturing this hope, he found the two friends waiting for him at the agreed place. Did you find them? Carrot. Kosla asked immediately with great anxiety in his voice. Unfortunately, I found nothing, despite the large sum offered. I think that the family of Katienko was lying. What do you mean? Asked Simeon, who had now become aware of the latest developments, lamenting the flight of his brilliant students. Where is this house? Kosla wanted to know, clearly demonstrating that he would not give up on. Girl, comrade, forget it. Forget these people. They are not for you. Pem confesses their true feelings. Alex wanted to discourage him. There's no point in going after him. Surely, at this moment, her father will have convinced her, and nothing, nor anyone, will be able to contradict him. I just want to know your whereabouts. Then I'll give up. I promise you. Okay, let's go back. While it's still day. Saying this, Alex gave the order to turn the carriage, which was followed by the 53 Mrs. Norobod inconsolable. During the journey, Simeon listened to Kostia's lamentations as he told him about his miserable adolescence spent on that farm. Simeon's life was not so different, but less tragic, thanks to his parents had better luck and the opportunity to study in the capital, engage in conversation. The two friends didn't even realize they were already inside the property near the mansion. Norobod, the footmen came to receive the small entourage, and while the servant handed over the troika, Alex, order that the rooms be made ready for the visitors. Maria Norobod was still bedridden. The old lady had not recovered. She continued, unhappy with the escape of the young girl, whom she wanted as her second daughter and now entered into a depressive state, dangerous for his age. He wanted to avoid Kostia. It was the second time that, because of his heart ached, though he was not to blame. You shouldn't have brought him, my son, the mother explained, avoiding the boy's presence. You don't need to meet with him, Mom. We have business in common, and I intend to unite him with Sasha. I'm just waiting for an appropriate moment. You're delirious, Alex. How do you want to unite him with Sasha? A decision I made on my own. I know what's best for my daughter and for my family, he replied haughtily, without any intention of hurting her. The mother, sensitive, received his words as an affront. You never spoke to me like that. Alex, the suffering that he and your father made me suffer is not enough. Now you come, my only son, to hurt me in this way. This man must have something with the devil. Your presence turns everything into tragedy. Don't be radical, my mother, you're exaggerating. He's just a poor man who wants to get it right. In life, Alex defended, demonstrating his great sympathy for Kostia, an affinity developed through the common interest that kept them linked as if they were blood brothers. The discussion would not end. Mrs. Norobod could do nothing. Her son gave the orders. She, a sick old woman, she could barely get up to receive visitors. It was her sad end. Her son, he had married a woman he barely knew and so characterless. He thought bitterly. He was deeply unhappy, wanting to die. Alex wasn't bad, but he had always been away from home, valuing his friends more than himself. Family, her business and travels were more important. It didn't matter to her either that her granddaughter, Sasha, whether she married that man or not. That girl looked nothing like her. She was a picture, alive from his mother, both in behavior and in physique and intelligence. His attempt was a disaster. To continue school. She was useless, she thought, very upset. Thank goodness. Professor Semyon had returned, at least some good news. Do you know nothing about Mayra Sumarokov's whereabouts, Alex? He asked, changing the subject. No, Mother, he replied laconically. Yes, she is the only person capable of bringing me joy in this empty house. Mayra is like a summer sun. That comes in through the window, sighed the old woman. I also really like the girl. I did everything I could to find them. We just have to leave. That suffering makes them look for us. In fact, something I doubt when it comes to that stubborn guy, the Sumarokov. My son, they are poor, but they have pride. I have never seen in my entire life a more honest and worker, she exclaimed in admiration. I'm not here to listen to praise for unworthy people. Take care, my mother. I have more than due and left. The old woman gazed out the window at the plain that stretched as far as the eye could see on the horizon. Mayra, it was all she wanted, to die happy. Alex Norobod, determined to put the school in order, handed it over to Semyon. Then he sought out wife, warning her of his intention regarding their daughter. Sonia, he addressed a mechanically dash. Sasha is of age to marry. I am waiting for you. Communicating that I have already chosen the groom. Despite her detached manner, Sonia felt a very strange sensation. It seemed she wasn't prepared to be a mother-in-law. She didn't know who the chosen groom was, and she was very surprised by the decision of the husband, considering him completely uninterested in his daughter's fate. After all what was happening, the woman couldn't contain herself and burst out laughing. Asterisk. Oh, come on. Sasha getting married. Alex looked at her in surprise, hearing her hysterical laughter. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm serious. That's exactly why. If you were joking, I wouldn't be laughing. You, Alex, don't even remember. Of your daughter, she accused bitterly. Our daughter, to you, seems more like a mistake. You never cared about her, and even less with her luck. Now you want to marry her? Yes, he said awkwardly. I'm worried about your future. Who is the groom? Comrade Kostia. But didn't you promise him Mayra? He asked her, surprised and revealing himself, since no one had promised him, had communicated. "Are you listening to things behind the door, woman?" He gave an ironic chuckle as she went, changing color and becoming blush like a red rose. "Yes, I listen, I have to do it, because no one talks to me," she complained, complaining because he never talked to her. Alex looked at her seriously, feeling a certain pity, because it was a harshest reality, but he didn't give her his arm, to twist and explain to him less abruptly. Sumarokov ran away, abandoned his work, because he doesn't want his daughter to get married. Looking at her, determined and continued. Kostya will soon forget her, and as his wife remained silent, without accepting his argument, he asked him, "Where is Sasha?" "He's at school." "Go call her. I need to talk to her," he ordered dryly. Alex, despite being a revolutionary and having broken with many prejudices, was like his father, had the same haughtiness, although he tried not to show it. He still kept in his attitudes and decisions the foolish pride that his position gave him. He was aware that women were rational beings, but when it came to women in his family, he made a point of giving orders and be obeyed without hesitation, as if he had inherited one of his serious defects from his father. Command the lives around him. He reveled in his authority, as if he alone knew what was better for others, and, in that case, his decision had to be respected.